Welcome to Tech Insights Unplugged on AI, where we break down the latest advancements in artificial intelligence and machine learning. Today, we're diving into a fascinating new system called RAPTOR, a tool that's redefining how AI understands lengthy documents. Joining me is Dr. James Carter, a natural language processing expert. James, great to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about RAPTOR. It's one of those innovations that feels like a light bulb moment for handling complex texts.
Let's start with the basics. Most of us know chatbots like ChatGPT, but what's the big challenge with getting AI to understand long documents, like books or research papers?
Great question. Imagine you're trying to answer a question about war and peace. Traditional AI systems might retrieve a few short paragraphs, but they miss the forest for the trees. They struggle to connect themes spread across hundreds of pages. It's like trying to summarize a novel by reading random pages. You'll miss the plot twists.
That makes sense. So how does RAPTOR solve this?
RAPTOR stands for Recursive Abstractive Processing for Tree-Organized Retrieval. Think of it as building a knowledge tree. Here's how it works. Chunking. Split the document into small sections, like individual scenes in a movie. Clustering. Group related chunks together. For example, all scenes about Cinderella's hardships. Summarizing. Use AI to write a summary of each cluster. These summaries become parent nodes in the tree. Repeat. Keep clustering and summarizing until you have layers of abstraction, from fine details to broad themes. It's like creating a table of contents, chapter summaries, and subheadings all at once.
So the AI isn't just skimming, it's building a hierarchical map of the document. How does this help in practice?
Exactly. Let's use the Cinderella example from the paper. If you ask, how did Cinderella find her happy ending? Traditional systems might retrieve snippets about the ball or the fairy godmother. But RAPTOR's tree lets the AI pull both specific details, like the glass slipper, and higher-level summaries, like themes of perseverance. It's like having a book club discussion where everyone shares different perspectives.
That's clever, but clustering sounds technical. How does RAPTOR decide which chunks belong together?
It uses something called Gaussian mixture models, a fancy way of saying it groups text based on similarity. Imagine sorting Lego blocks. Blue pieces go together, red ones go together. But text is messier. RAPTOR uses embeddings, numeric representations of meaning, to measure similarity. To avoid the curse of dimensionality, where high-dimensional data becomes chaotic, it uses UMAP, a tool that simplifies data while preserving relationships. Think of it as compressing a 3D map into 2D without losing landmarks.
Fascinating. What about the recursive part?
Recursion is key. After clustering, RAPTOR summarizes each group. Those summaries are then reclustered and resummarized, building layers of understanding. Guessed, it's like writing a summary of a summary, but each layer adds value. For businesses, this could transform tasks like contract analysis. Imagine a law firm using RAPTOR to quickly grasp the entirety of a 100-page contract, not just isolated clauses.
Speaking of businesses, where else could this shine?
Healthcare, medical research papers are dense. RAPTOR could help clinicians find relevant studies by connecting symptoms, treatments, and outcomes across thousands of pages. Or customer support. If a client's issue spans multiple chat logs, RAPTOR could piece together the full story.
The paper mentions two query methods, tree traversal and collapse tree. What's the difference?
Tree traversal is like navigating a family tree, start at the top, grandparents, and drill down to grandchildren. You get a structured path. Guessed, collapse tree flattens all layers into one pool, letting the AI pick the best nodes regardless of hierarchy. The paper found collapse tree works better because it's more flexible, like letting a chef choose ingredients from every shelf, not just the top ones.
And the results.
Impressive. On question-answering tasks, Raptor outperformed traditional methods by up to 20% in accuracy. Guessed. For example, paired with GPT-4, it achieved 82.6% accuracy on the ality benchmark, a dataset designed to stump humans with tricky reasoning. That's like acing an exam by truly understanding the material, not just memorizing facts.
Any limitations?
A small fraction of summaries had minor hallucinations, like the AI adding details not in the text, but these were rare, 4%, and didn't affect answers. Guessed. Also, building the tree takes time, but it scales linearly. The team tested it on a laptop, processing 78,000 tokens, about 150 pages, efficiently.
Let's zoom out. Why should non-technical listeners care about Raptor?
Because it's a leap toward AI that comprehends rather than parrots. Imagine a future where students get AI tutors that explain entire textbooks, not just bullet points. Analysts synthesize 10K reports in seconds, spotting trends humans might miss. Authors use AI editors that grasp narrative arcs, not just grammar. Raptor isn't just a tool, it's a step toward AI that thinks holistically.
James, this has been enlightening. Any final takeaways?
3 things. Hierarchy matters. Understanding documents requires layers, not just snippets. Guessed. Flexibility wins. Letting AI choose from all levels of abstraction leads to better answers. The future is integrated. Tools like Raptor will blend with LLMs like GPT-4 to create systems that are both knowledgeable and context-aware.
Let's dive into some real-world scenarios. James, if I'm a business leader, where could I apply Raptor tomorrow to solve a pressing problem?
Oh, the applications are endless. Let's start with corporate legal teams. Imagine a merger negotiation where lawyers need to review a 500-page contract. Guessed. Traditionally, they'd skim for key clauses, indemnities, termination terms, liabilities. But with Raptor, the system builds a tree. Guessed. Layer 1 summarizes individual sections. Layer 2 groups clauses by theme like financial obligations or intellectual property. Guessed. Layer 3 creates a high-level summary. This contract heavily favors party in liability clauses but lacks clarity on dispute resolution. Guessed. A lawyer could ask, where are the loopholes in Section 9? Raptor retrieves granular text and flags broader risks in summaries. It's like having a paralegal who's read the document 10 times and memorized every nuance.
That's a game changer for due diligence. What about customer experience?
Absolutely. Take a telecom company with years of support chat logs. Customers often complain about billing errors, but the issues are buried across millions of messages. Guessed. Raptor could cluster chats by topic. Overcharge, plan upgrade, late fee. Summarize each cluster. 35% of billing complaints mention prorated charges after mid-cycle upgrades. Identify root causes. Confusion arises when agents fail to explain proration during upgrades. Guessed. Instead of hiring analysts to sift through chaos, Raptor hands the CX team a structured report. Here's why customers are frustrated and how to fix it.
Love that. Let's talk financial services. How might a hedge fund use this?
Picture a portfolio manager analyzing 50 annual reports for investment opportunities. Raptor could extract sections on risk factors and market trends from each report. Cluster common risks. Supply chain disruptions vs. regulatory changes. Guessed. Generate a hierarchy. Semiconductor companies face geopolitical risks in Layer 1, but AI-driven demand growth in Layer 2. Guessed. The manager could ask, which energy companies are hedging against climate regulations? Raptor retrieves both specific disclosures and industry-wide trends. It's like turning a mountain of PDFs into a dynamic, queryable dashboard.
Brilliant. What about R&D-intensive industries, like pharmaceuticals?
Drug development relies on synthesizing thousands of research papers. Let's say a team is studying a new cancer drug. Raptor could, guessed, cluster studies by subtopic. Tumor shrinkage, Side effects, patient demographics, summarize findings. Drug X shows 60% efficacy in patients under 50 but severe nausea in 20% of cases. Guest, highlight contradictions. Study A claims no liver toxicity, but Study B warns of elevated enzymes. Instead of spending weeks in literature review, scientists query, show me all evidence of long-term safety. Guest, RAPTOR serves up a digestible summary with links to source text. It's like having a research assistant who never sleeps.
These examples are gold, but let's get tactical. How would a mid-sized business implement this without a giant AI budget?
Great point. You don't need a PhD team. Many cloud services offer clustering as a service tools. Start small, pick a use case, compliance docs, customer feedback, internal reports. Use off-the-shelf embeddings. Tools like SentenceBird are free and easy to plug in. Guest, leverage open-source libs, UMAP for clustering, GPT 3.5 for summarization. For example, a marketing agency could analyze client campaign postmortems. Guest, RAPTOR might reveal, failed campaigns often lacked clear CTAs, while successful ones used influencer storytelling. Suddenly, they're making data-driven creative decisions.
What's the ROI here? Convince a skeptical CEO.
Let's quantify it. A consulting firm I worked with used RAPTOR-style retrieval to cut contract review time by 40%. For a team billing 300/hour, that's 120 saved per hour, or $240K/year per lawyer. For customer support, reducing ticket resolution time by 15% could save millions at scale. And in R&D, accelerating literature review by 30% means faster time to market for products. It's not just efficiency, it's competitive advantage.
Any industries where RAPTOR could be revolutionary but aren't obvious.
Media and entertainment. Imagine a streaming platform analyzing viewer feedback on a show. Guest, RAPTOR could cluster reviews into character development, pacing, ending dissatisfaction. Guest, summarize. Fans loved episode 3 twist but felt the finale rushed. Guest, guide writers. Season 2 should deepen subplots introduced in episodes 4-6. Or publishers using it to analyze manuscript submissions. Guest, instead of interns skimming slush piles, RAPTOR ranks drafts by thematic coherence. This mystery novel has strong pacing but underdeveloped villains.
This feels like the future of decision-making, AI that doesn't just find data but understands it. James, thanks for bringing these examples to life.
My pleasure. The key takeaway. Whether you're a startup or a Fortune 500, tools like RAPTOR turn information overload into actionable insight. It's not about replacing humans. It's about empowering them to focus on what matters.
Couldn't agree more. Folks, if you're inspired to experiment, start small and scale fast. Thanks, James.
Anytime.
Thanks, James. For our listeners, check the show notes for the paper. Until next time, keep exploring the future, one algorithm at a time.